Hey YouTube, Stephanie here, and I'm looking kind of normal because it's post-show, so I can actually like shower and do my hair and stuff. It's so nice. Anyways, that's not the point of this video, even though it is very nice. I wanted to check in because it is Tuesday, July 5th. So my show was on July 2nd, so it's been a couple days. I took Sunday and Monday off because Monday was 4th of July. So I took it off from any diet. I didn't track my food. I kind of have videos for you guys to watch. If you watched my last video, I had some of the foods that I was eating. But I really I kind of just enjoyed whatever I wanted to eat. So today is technically day 1 of my reverse diet. And so for anybody who doesn't know what a reverse diet is, I'll kind of explain it. I'm not, scientific at all in this aspect, but I'm going to do my best to just explain what it is. So what happens when you're dieting and you're in a calorie deficit, which means you're eating much less calories than what your body needs to run on as fuel. Here, let's just say, here's your metabolism, and here's the calories that you're eating. So when you lower the amount of calories that you're eating in a deficit, this is what I was doing during prep, then your metabolism is slowly coming down. And as it's coming down, this is when you're losing fat and losing weight, but eventually it's going to get to this neutral level and you might plateau in your weight loss. So then you have to keep lowering it, and your metabolism slowly decreases while you're on a diet or in a calorie deficit. So what happens when you stop dieting, because now there's no need for me to stay this lean right now. I mean, of course it looks good and I want to stay lean. Of course, I don't want to bounce back, and so that's why I'm doing my reverse diet, is I want to increase my metabolic rate back up. And so I'm going to do this by slowly increasing my calories and the amount pretty much in carbs and fat. I'm going to increase it. And then my metabolism is going to speed up, and I'm going to slowly do that. And the reason that I don't want to put myself all the way back up to how many calories I was eating before is because, yes, it's going to slowly come back up, but in that meantime, I'm going to be putting on massive amounts of fat. So the goal of a reverse diet is to slowly add in carbs and fat to build your metabolism up without putting on a significant amount of fat. So that's what I'm going to be doing, and I decided that I wanted to share this with you guys because this is something that I struggle with in my last shows, which were, of course, a year and a half ago. But in those shows, I definitely binged afterwards, and I didn't understand the concept of a reverse diet. I didn't understand the damage that I had done to my metabolism over such a long period of dieting. So I just kind of went free for all and was like, okay, now that prep's over, I can just eat whatever I want. And I put on a lot of fat, and that does a number to your self-esteem. It does a number to your body. It does a number to just like my outlook and my body image. So this time I really want to be smart about it and do the best that I can to stay as lean as possible, but still increase my calories. And I'm going to be 100% transparent, and I'm not telling you guys my calories because I think it's something that you should do, but I really want you guys to have a grasp on what I'm doing and how I'm going about it. And I'm going to tell you, I am not working with, of course my coach is, I'm still talking to her on a regular basis and things like that, but she's not creating my plan for me. I am doing this myself. So I do I'm not, like I said, I'm not a nutritionist, so it's not going to be 100%, maybe not the best way to do it, but here I want to experiment with my body and see what I can do for it without getting too crazy. So, what I'm starting at this week is just a little bit above where I was at for peak week, because I'm going to start out very conservative with it and then kind of see what happens with my body, because everybody's different. So I'm starting out at 60 grams of carbs, which is super duper low, but I was super duper low this prep. Like towards the end, we had to get really aggressive with me losing the fat that I needed to lose to get on stage. So again, I'm not recommending this diet for anybody. I'm just being transparent, and I want you guys to see what I'm doing so that you guys can kind of see the progress and how it works. So I'm starting with 60 grams of carbs, 120 grams of protein, and 40 grams of fat. So that's where I'm at. It's just under 1,100 calories. And guys, for this prep, I did get down to about 1,000 calories. It's just what happened. It's what we had to do for me to get stage lean. So my goal is to definitely, I mean, who wants to maintain at 1,000 calories to stay lean? Nobody. Like, I like food just as much as the next person. So I want to get my calories up as high as possible. Literally. I mean, come on, carbs, bring them on. But of course, I'm going to do it at a slower rate. So that's what I'm starting at this week. I'm going to see how my weight changes, how my body changes. I'm going to try to do progress pictures each week because I know the scale isn't always the most accurate tool of measurement, but it is something that I can use as a guideline as I'm going. They say I'm following Lane Norton. He is amazing, and I've watched tons of his videos about reverse dieting. So that's kind of where I'm getting my information from. So you should check him out. I can put a link for his YouTube channel below if you are interested in learning more about this whole reverse dieting process. But my goal during this time is to get my metabolic rate as high as possible. So if I can, maintain a nice balanced lean body fat and still putting on some muscle for this off season, and I can do that at 2,500 calories, that would be amazing. That's way better than what my metabolism was at before I started dieting. But again, it's the process. So the goal of this reverse diet is each week I will be adding in 5 to 10, maybe 15 if my body is doing really, really well with it, grams of carbs, and then 1 to 3 grams of fat per week, and just keep taking that up without putting on too much fat. So my goals for the future, now that this is post-comp and I've had a couple days to kind of just sit down and think about it, I've talked to a couple of my really good competitor friends, and I talked with my husband about it, and we've kind of decided that I'm pretty sure that I'm going to take the rest of this year off. So it's July right now. I'm going to technically go into my off season. I'm going to reverse diet. I really want to put on some shoulders. Like, that's always been my weakness, and I need them. I want to compete at a national level, you guys. Like, I got 3rd place, and that was the most amazing surprise ever. And it just reestablished my belief in myself that after losing, I got last place at one show, and a week later to place 3rd in a group of, I think there was like 20 girls, give or take one. But to place 3rd out of that many, that was the biggest show I've ever competed in. And to get 3rd place was incredible and unexpected, and just reminded me that, one failure, one bump in the road, one last place, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Bodybuilding, especially in bikini, is so subjective, and they look for something different at each show, and judges like different things. And so that really put that into perspective for me. And just because I got last place doesn't mean that the sport isn't for me, and doesn't mean that I'm not going to do well on stage another time. So at this Wings of Strength show, there was also the pros there. So I got to see the bikini pros on stage and even backstage. And it was extremely motivating. And you guys, it got me fired up. Like, I can totally do this. Like, I can compete at a national level. Not with my body right now. I know that there's always room for improvements, but I'm super excited because for the first time I feel like I'm going to go after my pro card. And that's scary to say because there's so many amazing, talented, beautiful physiques out there. So to say, like, I'm going to go after my pro card, to me, that's a huge, huge deal. But it also is something for me to work towards because I was a little bit afraid that after this prep, that I wouldn't have anything to work towards, and that I would kind of just dive off the deep end and, binge and not want to get back in the gym and lose my physique. Like, those fears were real. So now to have such a big, huge goal, like, looming over my head, not looming because that's kind of a negative term, but like just up there and I want to reach up and grab it. So it makes me excited to hit this off season hard. It makes me excited to reverse diet and build up my metabolism so that when I am prepping for my national shows, and I'm trying to get super lean because I wasn't nearly as lean as I needed to be for a national show, that's for sure. That my metabolism is going to be so sky high, I'm not going to have to drop down so low. Or if I do, I'm going to be so much leaner at that point. So I have some awesome goals that are pushing me forward, and I'm trying this reverse diet and I want to share it with you. I don't know if I'll be, obviously vlogging every single day, but I do want to take you through kind of what it's looking like for me, the struggles, the ups, the downs. They say that reverse dieting is so much harder than actual prep dieting because you don't really have this one little carrot dangling in front of you. That's the show. I have a carrot dangling in front of me, which is I want to hit the national stage next year. That's a huge carrot, but it's so far away that it's a little bit harder to stay focused and consistent on that basis. So that being said, I am continuing my intermittent fasting. So right now it's like probably 11:30 and I haven't eaten yet for the day. I woke up this morning, I did my fasted cardio. I'm still keeping up with my hour and 45 minutes of cardio a day for this week. Because that's also part of reverse dieting. I have such high cardio, I can't just throw it to the wayside and then only focus on diet. I've slowly got to bring my cardio down. So this week, I'm still doing the hour 45, but my intensity is much lower than it was. And then next week, I'll bring it, bring the time down a little bit. So my goal is that I'll only have to be doing, I do enjoy doing cardio and I love Insanity. And now that I have, I did Insanity Max 30. And now that I have food in me and more carbs, because I will be having more carbs than I was having for my peak weeks, I can get back to doing those workouts at home, which I really, really love. So my goal is to get my cardio down to just doing that once a day. And then of course I have Zumba because I'm a Zumba instructor and I teach 3 days a week. So, I will be keeping my cardio up, which is great for my lungs, my heart, and all that. But, yeah, that's that. I think I've been rambling for a really long time now. So I will, I'm going out to eat actually. For my first meal of the day will be sushi. So I will be plugging all that into my fitness pal and doing my best to stay within my macros for the day because I know that they still are pretty low. But again, I am just happy to have gum back, artificial sweeteners back into my diet, and having a little bit more sodium that I'm not having to worry about if I'm bloating. But for the most part, I'm keeping my diet the same. Lots of lean meats, lots of vegetables because I want to hit those micronutrients. And, I'm doing if it fits my macros / flexible dieting. I want to pay attention to the quality of the foods that I'm eating just as much as I want to pay attention to hitting my macros, because there's a big difference between filling up on junk and filling up on foods that are actually fueling your body. But I do look forward to drinking my Shakeology today and every day from now on, because I did miss that during my peak weeks, and it totally helps with your digestion, people, okay? I was having the hardest time. I know you saw in my last vlog during peak week, I was having the hardest time going number 2. This might be TMI, but my Shakeologies, the moment they're back into my diet and my meals, smooth sailing in that department. Literally love it for that. Love it for the energy. Love it for all the micronutrients it gives my body. And I just feel different when I'm on it. Okay, that's enough about that. So I will maybe slip in a couple photos and stuff for you guys to see what I am having today when I go out for sushi with my girl Angela, and I'll maybe plug in what else I'm eating for the day. So I'll talk to you guys soon, and I'll see you in my next reverse dieting series, I suppose. All right. Bye, guys.